everyone, this is episode 48 of Noodle Time. Welcome back. Here with me, I like to say that this man really admires pro referees in NWSL. How do you feel, OSG?
I'm looking for my bat or a red card right now. What's that stupid TikTok? I'm gonna put that off. yeah, bro. Yeah. But more importantly, champion, champion, champion. I know off topic for this show. Champion. Just wanted y'all to see champion.
I'll let
But
that one
after that,
slide, but
okay,
yeah.
yeah. Because look, I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna flip it. We're
There we
done,
go. There we go.
and I'm back.
Nice.
And
Nice.
look. My Dash jersey has promise. So,
But yeah, I was gonna let it slide because it's definitely a treble, which doesn't really happen. But I'm glad that you turned to the right side.
I'm on the right side
That was
either way,
fantastic.
And Julian Alvarez with the first World Cup and treble winner in the history of players. So shout out to them. But yeah, all right. So I digress. I don't want everybody to. Hey, bring on the hate, guys. I'm city, and y'all like to talk y'all's crap. Bring it on. I don't care. I'm a champion. But yeah, let's get into Hustle Town, bro. Man, let's get into Hustle Town. It was a busy weekend. Plus the Open Cup. You're right.
No, yeah, a lot of action, and some people might have forgotten already, but we did have the Open Cup win on the road, in Chicago, 4-1, and it didn't stop there.
We're Open Cup road killers.
No, yeah, it didn't stop
It
there with the
doesn't make
four.
sense.
It didn't stop there with the 4 goals because Houston would do the same against LAFC back at home, and 4 more goals coming in from Dynamo 2 on the road against Minnesota United 2. Unfortunately, Dash didn't follow that trend. We had to stick with a 1-1 draw, which we can definitely talk about because there's been some controversy in that game and a couple thoughts that we can definitely hear from OSG later on. But yeah, just a lot to talk about. But you can chime in right now before we get
No,
started.
no, no. No. We'll save it for the Dash segment because I might just rant, and then we might as well just talk Dash and just we'll get out of order. So let's stick to the script.
Nice. No, yeah. With that, let's go ahead and get started with the episode. We're gonna go ahead and get started with the Dynamo. As I said, 2 wins in 1 week, and one of those was on the road for the Open Cup, a quarterfinals, and that is unheard of. A road win in Dynamo standards, as you may all know. And I was not able to watch it live because I was watching the new Spider-Verse movie and on Tuesday, so they had like cheap tickets back then, so I had to watch it. And
Priorities.
right, no, but yeah, I was disappointed because my friend invited me on the day of the game, and I was like, man, I'm gonna have to watch a replay. But that was a bad call of my part because there was literally no replay I could find, like not even on CBS Sports Golazo Network or YouTube or anything like that. So I wasn't able to watch the replay because of that. But
Well,
I
you know what? Before
yeah
you do the butt, let's talk about the cat in the bag. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Oh, and then you change your mind. Who was supposed to go to Houston this weekend? Who was supposed to watch the U.S. Open Cup match? Come on, bro. Hey, if y'all listen to this show and you know Andres or you're his buddy, quit and look at the friggin' schedule before y'all invite him to do anything. I don't care if it's your birthday, your wedding, your funeral. He has priorities. So, sorry, maybe funeral. I guess you can go to, but okay, I'll let you be there.
no, but yeah, it was unfortunate because of the timing. Like it was like somewhat of a last minute plan, and I really like the first Spider-Verse movie, so I had to watch the second one. And the
And then
one
they
thing
leave you
I was
hanging.
doing though, in the middle of the movie was keeping up with the game. I was trying to like watch the game live, but like that was somewhat uncomfortable because
No,
I wanted to focus on the movie too. But I
yeah.
did keep up with the notifications at least, and I was like watching the movie, and my phone kept blasting, and like the Dynamo scored 3 goals, and I was like, "What is going on? 3 goals already?" And
Yep.
yeah, and Chicago scored there first, and then we scored the fourth one, and I was like, "Man, that's crazy." I'm gonna regret not watching this game live. And
You chose a
yeah,
part one movie to go to instead of watching the Dynamo. Like Dynamo didn't leave you hanging in suspense. Spider-Man left you hanging and said to be continued.
yeah.
I mean, I guess Dynamo's to be continued too, because now we, won that game and get to advance and play at home against RSL. So, I guess it goes either way, right? But you keep your phone in your pocket during the movie, by the way.
Oh no, yeah, I did. So it's that I was well, I wanted to like pay attention to the game though, and I had like a low brightness and everything, so everything was good.
Okay.
And I know, yeah, the main thing I wanted to talk about this game, even though I didn't get to watch a lot of it, is the fact that it's just incredible. Like up until the quarterfinals, it was like the first time we conceded a goal, uh, and obviously that goes to show a lot about the defense and how it has been transitioning, as well as Andrew Tauerbell just being fantastic in goal up until unfortunately this game they had to concede in the first half. And I know, yeah, like it's the other main thing that I wanted to discuss as well is the fact that Mikhail and Eric Svechenko, they're like at this point they're starting, and particularly for Mikhail, I wanted to focus on because I didn't think he had like a pretty good week last time around, especially during the road trip, and it took a lot of belief, especially for Ben Olsen to stick with him in the starting lineup because in those two road games, I thought it wasn't a very I want to say like very good, but in this game,
Playing
and I
playing out of position.
no, yeah, playing out of position too. That's a good point, and I wanted to mention that because like in this game and the game against LAFC, which I can get into more, like it's just been like great.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like those past two games, of course, everybody was crapping on Mikel and playing left back. It's an adjustment for him because when you're watching the game, you could see him. It looked like he was to his center back tendencies, and left back he was just learning it. You could see that he was trying to learn on the move, and then this week he's back to center back and did a great job against Chicago too, and now he's becoming a as we get into the Saturday game, he gets two back to back starts at center back, and Bartlow's on the bench twice in a row. So Mikhail's, hey, I think our depth is improving. At the center back, we're good. We're confident. It's those at left back, we're still. Woo! What are we gonna do there? But man, but like you said, that was a friggin' just a stellar of a game. The first goal came early with that penalty kick, and you're like, okay, yeah, but this is early. We're still on the road. What can we do here? And then we got that second one, and then just gave up one before halftime. But and then after that, put the game away, bro. Put the game away. It's just not a performance we're used to on the friggin' road. And that's what they get for not playing in their own stadium. They wanted to go play in their old stadium. So they got played like they were old.
No, yeah, right. And the one thing I also wanted to mention about the back line is the biggest question mark there is when it comes like at this point in the season, and that's just like Chase Gasper starting, and like he did not have like a pretty good first impression, especially for fans, because of the red card and also some inconsistent performances, and yeah, he has been getting used a lot, obviously because of our injuries and the fact that we have to rotate at some point in the season, and yeah, it's just one of those things that he has been getting involved more often because of that. So, do you have like any
Well,
thoughts about Chase Gasper? Because I don't think he was like is like at this point it's kind of like meh. I don't know.
yeah, well, yeah, and that's how I guarantee that's how everybody feels. Gasper, like, okay, great, Gasper's starting over there. Let's see what kind of trouble he's going to get us into this game, and it's like Jesus Christ, he Gasper. So I'm hoping that he can improve. Maybe he improves by Saturday when we play LAFC in the Shell and the Hell, but bad. He's not getting good opinions of him right now. We're wondering what the heck's going on with Smith because he's not getting to play right now, and we thought it was his time to get some playing time, and he's not getting playing time. And then Dorsey's not getting playing time. It's I think Steres was questionable for this game, so that's why he missed. So that's why you didn't get your Escobar and Steres back wingers, but uh, that's like I said, left backs are still our question mark, and the coach has got something to figure out there, what we're going to do there. And I don't even know because people are saying put Mikel back on the left back because you got, or because you got Bartlow still here in the middle. So it's a big question mark. What are we going to do? Don't know. But Gasper, he needs to improve quickly if he's going to keep playing. People are asking for Vanderkust to get some time. Now, of
Yeah.
course, a lot of these people don't watch Dose at the same time to see what kind of how he's been playing at the same time. But yeah, give him. We're all still asking for him. Give him one game of opportunity to play in the MLS and just see what he can do. It can't be worse than Gasper, can it?
Oh yeah, and the other thing that I also wanted to mention about this game, aside from the fact that Achache has been amazing so far in the season, and probably the MVP at this point, is the fact that Ali and Quinones have been like on the up, and I can get a little bit more when it comes to the LAFC game, especially for Quinones. But like Ali, we saw today, well, this game in particular, 2 goals already in this in one instance, and like just going to back to last week and the week before, like it's just insane like how much like he understands where to put the ball and have it placed. And it was unfortunate because I keep going back to the game against Vancouver because he could have easily like 2 or 3 goals to his name. And it like he just like at that point, it's pretty important for him to like not quit at all, and that's what he did. And I'm kind of glad that he got a 2 in this game because definitely needed that.
Well, and like you said, he read the game, man. Like yeah, the I think it was it the second goal or the first goal where he put it on the left side of the keeper, just in the little corner right there. The ball's played the Coco pass. he's making that run and he's on goal, and you're like you see Bossy to the right, wide open, and you're like expecting Aliyu to give that little layoff cross, and the keeper was expecting it too, and somehow Aliyu read that, and he just left footed it in the only that much space that was allowed. That's the size of the ball, and he puts it right in the net. And the keeper, you could tell because he reacted to the opposite direction, was just ready to defend the bossy ball, and he didn't do it. He's like, "I'm going to shoot, bro," and he put it in. He just placed it, so you could tell he read the keeper. And Ali was just looking really smart, and we're not having that striker issue right now. Just the only question people had is who's the backup to Elio when it comes to striker. We're still wondering. Thor's not getting enough playing time, and you definitely don't want to see Baird back there. And I think who's Sebastian Fadea? I'm not sure.
No, yeah, my preseason hot take is going well so far, so that's good, at least for me. And
Not very hard to beat
and
that one now.
yeah, and I can get a little bit more into Quinones when we talk about the LFC game, but I don't know if you have any closing thoughts about this game, but I'm very happy that we're this deep into the Open Cup and we can actually make a legit run. Now we have Real Salt Lake in front of us, which we are hosting, and unfortunately, we are not hosting the Open Cup final, depending on the scenario, because we got picked last in the draw. So we're gonna have to go all out for the home game, and that's not just like the team, obviously, but also us. I'm gonna take a day off of work to get to Austin, from Austin to Houston to watch that game because I'm not gonna miss my team in another Open Cup run because I did the same thing against back in 2018 when we won it. I was there in the final, and I was so happy, and I can wait to see him do it again.
Yeah, the only problem I have with the Open Cup is the way they schedule this tournament. They packed in some of the games all back to back, and then now we get 2 months off before we even play the next game, which is the semifinal after Leagues Cup on August 23rd. So, you know, I don't know. They could have played it out more, but I think they just wanted to get to the Final Four and then let everybody go on international duty, do Leagues Cup, the Gold Cup, and all that good stuff. And then we come back on August 23rd, play the semifinal, and then it's a whole nother month until they play the final. So it's kind of crazy how they scheduled this tournament, but that's the point of a tournament during the middle of the season. But it's hard when you play the first half of the season in the Open Cup with that team, and then teams change as the season goes through. So like it's just different because like RSL's they're adding players. They added Chicho. from Pachuca. So we're going to have to face him now when RSL comes here. And you know how we are against RSL. I don't think we've beaten them in 10 straight games. Jeez. Winless in 10 straight games against RSL, which is crazy to think about. But, we're going to have to do it now. It's win, lose, or draw. No draw, sorry. It's win or lose. Either you eliminate or you eliminated.
Oh yeah, and I feel like at that point, there's going to be like at least one signing that's going to be made in the summer, just based on the fact that, and I think I mentioned this a lot of times in previous episodes that like Asher and Pat have been hinting at the summer signing for a while now, and this piece is going to have to be important, not just for that, but rather to like change those games because we've seen the kind of games that we are missing. Are just really out of luck in some instances. In some instances, it's just like, okay, we need someone to go into the game and change things because it's not working out, or we're not doing anything up front. So I just hope it comes down to that because we're gonna need that depth, especially in our current situation when it comes to league play, and more importantly, at this point, make we're just like 2 wins away from winning a trophy and qualifying to the CONCACAF Champions Cup.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, the Dynamo with a big 4-1 victory over Chicago Fire on the road,
On the road.
crazy, and
Yes. In
and
violent Chicago.
I know, yeah, and that was Tuesday. We move into Saturday against LAFC back home, and I was kind of worried because LAFC was coming off the Champions League final, the CONCACAF Champions League final when it was called Champions League, and obviously they came in pretty upset, pretty pissed because they lost the return leg at home, and obviously missing out on trophy. They're gonna be pissed, and yeah, they definitely put in all their
Well, then,
starters. Yeah.
and then don't forget about their midweek games. So after they lost to Leon in the final, they had to play Atlanta on Wednesday.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
that was a 0-0 where Guzman became a friggin' superhero in that game and stopped everything in the world. So they were reeling 0-0. So I think that was 4 games, 4 winless games for them for LAFC coming into Houston, which only one loss for the MLS in the MLS season for LAFC. So we know what we're getting into. But those of you that listen to Instant Ramen, like I told Eric from Black and Gold, the voices of Black and Gold, after our interview, I felt more confident about us having the capability of winning, and that has something to do with Hell in the Shell too. At the same time, we're playing at home; we can compete with those that come to our stadium. So it was I was confident, man. I was confident, and then the whistle blew, and we took it from there.
No, yeah. This game was pretty much all Dynamo, and the first half was definitely different from the second one. Even though like the first half, Houston had like still were dominant with the ball and had the most opportunities, and I was impressed with the performance in the first half because I thought I could have more, but the floodgates would open in the second half, and I wanted to go back into this game because, as I mentioned before, Quinones, like he has been in an insane role right now. Like the fact that we've been discussing Quinones this late into like his loan stint, and the team has to make a decision either to like extend him or keep him or let him go. It's just crazy to me. Like at this point, like he's clicking now, and maybe it's just like a product of like the new offense, of the way we look now, and I'm very
Aliu,
Quinones.
no, you said it may be a product of the offense. It's a
All right.
product
Oh yeah,
of
yeah. I'll leave you. Yeah,
Liu
yeah, yeah. Because,
changing the style of attack that we were able to use, and yes, so that's part of it. But Cunyon, is like you said, is just stepping up, bro.
no, yeah, and the fact that Basi it plays a little bit behind also helps because I still think that Basi playing as somewhat of a midfield role or like
Yeah.
at least sitting back in like some of the plays, it's definitely helping the forward line succeed more in terms of finding more opportunities to score, and Quinones, like obviously that pass from Coco to send Quinones to the flank to score in the first 11 minutes, it was amazing, and it definitely gave a pretty good first impression because it was early in the game, and it definitely set expectations from there heading into halftime.
Bro, it's that the way Quinones score is that prototypical left winger play, man. They dribble down the left wing and they cut in and then take that shot into the far post corner. And it's crazy because when you're defending, bro, that's the one you don't want to give up. But at the same time, you don't want him to get beat around the corner and he just plays that ball across the middle of the box. But I'd rather give up that one than let anybody take a shot on my keeper that's out of reach or whatever. And took a little deflection, and obviously the deflection helped. But for those of us that were at the game in the supporters section, especially for me, that was eyesight directly into the corner right where I was standing behind. It was beautiful, man, right in front of it. It was friggin' awesome. 11 minutes into the friggin' game, too. So, welcome to the shell in the hell, LAFC. But like you said, man, Quinones, man, he's just doing his thing. He's turning up. I think what you said his date is, according to, if your date is correct, he's got 4 games left before I think we have to make a decision on what to do with him. So I mean, now it's time to turn it up. The coaches have been praising him and showing he's very raw talent, which means he's very coachable, and he's being coached and he's enjoying every minute that he's getting to play right now. So the big debate going on in the Dynamo world and including in the discords is: do we keep him? Do we not? We still got the damn transfer fee. If we're going to we're going to do his buy option, which is I think was 1 point something, 1.8 or whatever, which is a little high, but his salary's low, but his transfer fee is what is a little high. So it's U22, so who cares, man? If he's worth keeping, let's keep him. And right now, I'm on the boat of let's keep him with the way his performances are. Because even later in the game, he drew a penalty that Bossy ended up finishing, and so he's doing it. He's making his role. And friggin' Holland's Head for LAFC. He got played the whole game. So it's crazy. And I know they're reeling, but whatever. We're playing the same amount of games as them. So suck it, LAFC. Sorry, Eric, if you do listen to the pod later, bro. I said we're friends. It's not during the whistle, and we're after the whistle. And here I am. I'm sorry, bro.
No, yeah, and I'm so happy for Quinones because of that, and also
Yeah.
because he drew the foul, and Basi does what he does best, and that's score penalties. A penalty attempt, fifth penalty scored in league play because he did score a penalty in the Open Cup against Chicago. So that's 6 penalties this year, no competitions, out of 6 attempts. So I think we found our specialist, and that's something good because I don't like in recent memory. Like I don't know if we ever had like a an efficient penalty specialist. Like in I want to say like past 2012, 2013, because like it's just been like a mess.
Yeah, like who's the guy's going to you wonder who's going to take him. You wonder who, like it was DQ kind of last year, or
Yeah.
or 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 friggin' Fafa, of course, fighting over it. So it's not who's going to take the penalty kick. It's Bossy. And since this episode's kind of be related on refs and how much everybody hates the refs, I can't stand the friggin' refs. So on the penalty now, I shouldn't be griping about this too much, anyways. But just because the inconsistency of the refs, and it's just showing and it's showing and it's showing, it's becoming more evident that they're not consistent and they don't know what they're doing and they can't make up their minds how they're supposed to referee the game, and they're so far off. Coco almost took the penalty before Bossy took the friggin' penalty. He was that close. He encroached that much on the friggin' penalty, and nobody looked at it. Nobody reviewed it. Nobody called it back. I would have been so mad if we got that called back. Of course, we would have had to retake it. So that's the only benefit. It's not we're not losing the penalty. We would have had to retake it. But Coco, where you going, bro? The man don't miss penalty kicks. Sit your ass down the line.
Yeah, he was probably just like preemptively celebrating, just waiting for it to put in the back of the net. But I do agree though. Like I looked at the screenshot and I was like, that we could have had that goal taken back, and that was gonna be a mess. And thankfully that didn't happen. So that's good.
He might have distracted Bossy because Bossy didn't take the greatest penalty. He just put it on the right side. Keeper went the other way, but I'm Bossy. I'm right-footed, and I see out of the corner of my eye. There's a player literally standing right next to me, and thank God it's orange, so it's pretty. Were we orange in Chicago? I think we were. It's orange, so it's pretty obvious it's our own player. But still, that's got to be distracting when you're taking on the keeper, and then there's a little flare right here in the corner of your eye. It's friggin' Coco, who almost took the penalty for friggin' see, crazy. But anyways, all right. Anyways, he made it 2-0.
No, yeah, and at that point it was just pretty much floodgates open because like I would say like 19 minutes later, Baird would come in. Like he was actually subbed in at the 63rd minute,
Yeah,
and he just scores. Like
it took
Aliyu,
him.
like yeah, credit to Aliyu though for like forcing the giveaway, and like for Baird to like be in a pretty good spot to like run it inside the box and just put it
Well,
like
see,
in the far post.
and it was actually Baird who was on Hollingshead at that point. I'm not sure if it was Hollingshead or the center back that was right there. So it was Baird that was on the guy. And then Aliyu came in for support, and Aliyu and the defender both fell, and the ball was just sitting there. And Baird was, he was quick on it. He was quick on it. He wasn't smoking his weed before the game this time, so his reaction time was just on point. And, he goes straight to the ball, and here we are. That little cutback, he beats that one defender and puts the ball in the corner of the net. And it was just beautiful. And then Baird brings the bunny back. He brings the bunny
Like
back.
I love how they just adopted the bunny celebration after the FC Dallas game. I think that's amazing, and they should keep it
Yes.
forever because like
Yes.
I don't know if like a lot of people like understand the reference, but like it's if you watch the FC Dallas game, like the bunny that was there when Thor scored the goal, like kind of like the lucky charm, and
Or,
it's stuck
or
like
if
that
you
since
listen
like
to you listen to the show, you know about the bunny. So if it's your first
right.
time listening, shout out to you. Thank you for listening. But yeah, the bunny is with us.
No, because they did it then, and they did it after the game. If you watch the video, because they did it with the fans, with the supporter section at the end, and that was amazing. But yeah,
Also,
and
also on my,
yeah,
also on my Instagram story is the bunnies, man. The whole team with the bunny after the game. The whole team, and Hector Herrera is the fast bunny because he was the one quickest out.
yeah, that's amazing. And I know, yeah, like at this point it's like all Dynamo, but then like Escobar decides to score, and probably the best goal of the season. Like if like no one else like up one ups him, like it's Escobar is gonna have the best goal in for the Dynamo this season, like in all competitions, because that goal, like it looks so easy on TV and on FIFA, but like it's actually not easy at all, especially if you hit it one time, because like you have to have the right timing and the side of the foot like at the right place before you hit the ball, and it was just an incredible shot. And unfortunately, this week he's not gonna win a goal of the week in MLS because of Solar Jan's like halfway point goal like from the halfway line, and like it's just ridiculous like how many big goals there were this week.
Yeah, now before we get into the details of the Escobar goal, but that half shot, that half field goal was a game winner in extra time to put the game away. So
Yeah,
it had a lot more meaning to it than our 4-0 drilling of LAFC, which for us means a hell of a lot. But Columbus needed that goal, and it was just a brilliant goal, and it just what great vision just to catch the keeper off like that, especially in stoppage time to get that game winner. But let's digress. Escobar. It was Hector Herrera was given the ball, and he was 2 yards in front of the midfield. He turns and he sees Escobar. He just plays him a little over the top bar. Uh, Escobar's trap's not the best, but it set him up. And there was post game interviews. Eric Jashinko, how do you say his freaking name? Let's practice right
Shevchenko,
now. Jashinko. He
Shevchenko.
said Shinshinko, he was yelling, bro. He was yelling, shoot, shoot. And I was like, there's no way that Escobar could even hear that and focus and to just think about shooting that quick like that. But he takes the shot. The ball hits the post, bounces in, and it's a friggin' golazo. But Escobar turns right around and looks at the bench. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe, he heard something. So he turned around to give him credit, and then he goes back and he looks at Hector Herrera for the friggin' assist. And what a freaking goal, bro. What a freaking goal to put us up 4-0. and a Hell in the Shell clean sweep
Yeah, and that was Escobar's first goal of the season, and I also wanted to give
against
credit
former
to
team.
yeah, and I did want to give like credit to Escobar because like this was his best case of the season, and not only
Yeah,
that, like he has been progressing very well, like from the start of the year. Because I don't know if you remember correctly, but like I was pretty much questionable like with Escobar with the way he started. Like he just seemed like out of place, but like at this point he just grew into that role,
yeah.
and he's just like one of the things that I really appreciate about him is the fact that he just goes up and supports, especially trying to get into the final third, which is he has been doing pretty good. This goal just shows that really.
100%, 100% agree with that. And it's kind of funny because a lot of people would even brought up the debate like, who's some of our best? What's one of our best signings for the season? Or like, and of course they mentioned Liu, and then Arthur has probably been our most significant sign, and then Escobar has made it into that conversation, even with the slow start that he's had with the team, and he's already got 5 yellows, which you mentioned, so he's suspended for the repeat match on Wednesday, which will cause some problems because we don't know who's going to be our left back and our right back. But it looks like Gasper he got hurt during this game and got taken out in the first half. But I don't see him listed on the injury report right now, so he may be available, and that just might have been a little bruise. But you the team is playing very very well right now, very very well. And then, bro, we were worried about a storm coming in. We were worried about lightning coming in. The storm hit when the whistle blew, and it was called the Dynamo. But it was hilarious because as soon as the whistle blew and they popped the smoke for us, and then the streamers returned. The streamers returned.
Yes, sir.
The
I love
friggin'
streamers.
the wind hit like a tornado immediately, and the streamers just started flying everywhere. The smoke was going everywhere. It was crazy, bro. So it was like a time celebration, man. It was friggin' awesome, dude. It was friggin' awesome the way that game ended. And of course, as I say on my IG, go check out my story. Of course, I'm yelling in my story, so that might be annoying to some of y'all. I'm sitting there yelling and I've got the phone like right here in my hand as I'm recording this supporter section and everything else going on. So I got to remember that sometimes. But you know what? I'm gonna party hard, bro. Make
Yep,
fun of me if you want to.
worth it.
It's yes, absolutely, bro, absolutely. And then shout out to Sergio again, and actually, it was this time George from the supporter section. He was the one waving the big monster flag. So we keep one monster flag and we give Texian the other monster flag. So every time something important happens in the game, they just wave those big flags. And then Helbation bringing the noise the entire time. Of course, so it was sold out. It looked like a sold. Well, I didn't look at the top. Sorry, it was a sold out on the bottom for damn sure. And we brung the noise, and we're ready to go to LAFC on Wednesday. They're missing like 8 players, 5 to international duty. They have 2 questionable injuries. Acosta's still questionable, so we don't know if he's going to be ready. They have somebody out, so they're going to miss a lot of players. And Vela will be there. That's the only one that we might have to worry about. They got some bench players too, so it'll still be LA. It'll be in LA. It'll be a decent team, but all we're missing is Coco and Escobar. Coco going to Panama. Escobar with the suspension. Um, I didn't see anybody injured. I think Achara is now questionable, so he might
Dang,
be becoming available now too.
dang,
We've
Achara.
seen
I
him
want to
on
see
the.
him
I
play.
know. I do. Everybody wants to see him play. He's with us for the entire year. We got this window coming up, and everybody wants a winger, but we have a guy with a lot of potential that we need to see. We need to hurry up and see. But I wouldn't say don't stop getting your winger just because of a charge coming in. But he's another guy with depth that we need because Franco's not cutting it right now. Quinones is stepping up. Baird has become a super sub, which I'm very happy about. Super sub. I don't like him starting. He just doesn't do it for nobody when he starts as the winger. He's more of a super sub for us. But then Coco's been playing on that wing and he's been doing okay. But like I said, we're missing him, and we might miss him for a while too because he's got national games coming up. So we'll have some adjustments to make right there. Brooklyn Reigns might have to get back into the lineup finally. Saicedo's been stepping up. He'll be a replacement, of course. So, but I think with Coco missing, that puts Bossy Hector Herrera and Arthur as the middle three, no problem whatsoever. And then Quinona as a Liu, and then throw in whoever you want on the right wing, and that's your friggin' lineup right there, bro. And figure out the left back too, and you can fight over the center backs, Eric, Mikhail, Bartlow. You know, Steres will be back soon, so he'll probably get to play Wednesday because I think he's off of his injury. He was questionable, and he came into the game on Saturday, so he'll be back. So let's go. But like you said, we could talk forever,
No, yeah, um, no, yeah, that was the best game of the season so far. 4-0 victory over LAFC. Another clean sheet for Steve Clark. First win
huh?
under Brendan Berkey as the caretaker manager, because he was pretty much just subbing in for Ben Olsen since he was suspended. So shout out to Brendan, Coach Berkey at least, for getting that big win and setting us up for a pretty good spot in the standings. And
And a lot of people didn't know who Brendan Burke was before this game, and that's just because they don't pay too much attention to a lot of the details. But he was a very talented coach in the USL for Colorado Springs. They loved everything he's been doing over there. He turned that club around for the USL, and he decided to give up the head coaching job to come to Houston to be an assistant coach. And I even heard like one of the announcers say, "I was like, I don't know if you can call a coach a prospect, but coaches are." Our prospects coming up and working their way up the ladder. That's what assistant coaches do. They find someone to teach them, and then they become head coaches themselves. So, kind of like Kenny Bundy did whenever he came in, and he's being coached as well. So, good shout out to Brendan Burke, and good job for doing that. And he actually made coach of the friggin' week as well
yeah,
as Hector Herrera and Escobar too. Now somebody else did their players of the week, and they put Ben Olsen as coach of the week. So they
oh
kind of
yeah.
missed that one. They foobarred that one.
No, but yeah, that's gonna do it for the week. And like OSG said, we do have a couple of Dynamo players in international duty starting this week. Particularly Coco, he's gonna be missing. He does have a CONCACAF Nations League game against Canada coming up, which is the next one. And down the road, I think it starts like late in June or like close to July. It's the Gold Cup, and Xavier Valdez. We're representing the Dominican Republic against Chile in a friendly, a little bit or the day after Coco's friendly or Nations League game. Sorry,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's thankfully not a lot of players missing for us, especially since we need that. We need all of our starters, so that's good. And yeah, before we move on to the dash, because I know you want to complain about the game, we can like get into some of the questions asked about the Dynamo on Twitter. So, Hip to Swim is asking, Dynamo when it was needed and an awesome lift. Can they keep it up? And the answer is I would say yes. They kind of have to, especially on the road, because this they do need that result against LAFC, and the next one they do have like the break over the weekend, but then they're back to face the San Jose Earthquakes at home, and that's gonna be a big game because San Jose is no slouch.
It's also a 7-1-3 night. But
Yes.
and my answer to that question is that it's a good question, but we don't know. The Dynamo need to play well on the road, and can they keep it up? Obviously, at home they can keep it up. Can they transition that to the road? We're yet to see. But for us to have an attempt to make the playoffs, we're going to have to turn it up on the road because currently, right now, we are in seventh. We are in the playoff line with a game in hand. But yeah, got to keep it up. Got to turn it up on the road and show that we can actually not just win on the Open Cup road games.
Oh yeah, and Chepito also asked is if for Dynamo was it a perfect game for them, and I'd say yes, because
Oh,
like almost perfect you could say, also because like that we still allow chances for LAFC, but at the end of the day, like the score line says everything, and if you watch the game, it was almost near perfect. So I'll say it was a perfect game, honestly.
as close to perfect as you can be. Of course, the injury, Escobar getting his accumulated yellow, so obviously it wasn't a perfect game. But as far as the way the defense played, they didn't let LA take anything that was a real shot. So Steve Clark really didn't have to work today. They did have 11 or 12 corner kicks. That might be the only problem. So they were given a lot of opportunities, but the defense held it down and didn't let LAFC do anything like they did against Atlanta early in the week because they bombed Atlanta. They bombed Atlanta and didn't score, but that was the keeper that kept them out. This time we didn't have to do nothing with the keeper. The defense just stopped everything, and Steve was Steve, naturally, but he didn't have to make any real saves. I think he made one, maybe two real saves, but after that, it was Mikel that earned the player of the match. I think he deserved it, and a lot of people, we won 4-0. Why you give a defender the player of the match? Well, I think
Yeah.
it transitioned from the defender, the way the defense played, that allowed our offense to play the way they played, and then LAFC wasn't able to come back and score on us, so it just gave us the confidence to keep going against LAFC. So Mikhail deserved that player, that man of the match, well deserved.
Oh yeah, and a couple more things from Isaac about Dynamo. The first one being that sucks we can't host the US Open Cup final. The second one being that if we win against LAFC, does that mean we own the season? And the third one is
Obviously,
why can we why can we win away in the regular season but in Open Cup we can? The second one, yes, and the third one, it's some bad luck, some bad juju going on with Dynamo because we are a different team on the road. Uh, I don't know how to explain it, but that's that.
but we have noticed a difference and change on the road ever since Aliu has came in. Because even in Vancouver, we did lose 6-2. But who won the XG? The XG, the Dynamo won in that game, even though we lost 6-2. And you saw the shots that we should have made. So that could have been a 7-6 hockey score game right there, or a lacrosse score game right there. So they're playing better on the road. They're playing better with Aliu and the different type of offense that they're playing. And so the defense has got it on point, and now we're just starting to push up to, like I was asking a couple episodes back, we need to see a little more balance. Quit focusing so much on the defense, give me some offense, and you're starting to see that now, and it's transitioning very well into the game. Now we need to go do it on Wednesday, finish this sweep of LAFC, and let the MLS know the Dynamo are for real.
Yes, sir.
Not
Yeah,
now. Not only is Texas orange, but the Upper East Coast was orange for most of the midweek too.
absolutely.
Sorry, that was probably bad because a lot of people aren't feeling aren't being able to breathe too well with all that damn smoke. But the way the sun comes off that Upper East Coast, just the whole Upper East Coast was orange. So all right, my bad.
The sky,
Moving on.
but
Yeah, yeah.
moving moving on. Dash.
Woo! Hey,
uh, I
there it
watched
is.
this. Yeah,
There's the giveaway. There's the giveaway right here, bro. Here's the
I'm
giveaway.
extremely jealous.
That's the front half. It's
It,
a
it's a
it's
jersey
it's a
flag.
flat
Yeah,
flag jersey, and then on the other side for all the pridees. So it depends on which way you want to. Mine will be hanging up this way, obviously. Then I bought my jersey too. So that was the happy part of the game.
you're good. That's good. Well, yeah, that's probably the highlight of the game for sure. Outside of Bambi's goal and also Sanchez's goal that didn't happen, and we can discuss that a little bit further. And we can start with it roster wise, and especially on the starting lineup. It looked
Don't get
pretty.
me started.
Look, I know you hate Jane Campbell, but she's been doing pretty good.
All right. Oh, okay. All right. Let's just go there first. Jane Campbell did fine this game. I have no
Yeah,
problems with Jane Campbell. No problems with Jane Campbell. I did now a couple of those free kicks that were being taken out, and she's like 6, 7, 8 yards off her line, and she's ready to like intercept the ball. So, all right. But anyways, Jane Campbell did fine this game. I can't talk crap about her. She had a game. I'm fine with her. I love you, Jane.
no, but yeah, uh, I was pretty much impressed, and for like the past couple of games, I've been a fan of, I just say, Joel Anderson because she has been like stepping up, especially on midfield. She has been creating those opportunities to get in goal. And this game in particular, it wasn't really like up to her, but rather Michelle Losey just stepping up big time, and not only for the assist to Bombi, but also uh, we can discuss like the drama of her goal, but yeah, like I just saw that her um Joel Anderson along with Michelle Losey were like had a pretty good games overall, and it was unfortunate that we didn't have like a lot more goals, especially the crossbar that was hit by Sophie Schmidt. I was so upset about that one because
Oh my
that was
god,
close to stoppage time, and I was like, man, I really wanted to win this game.
dude! It was we played better than Gotham did that game. It was kind of even on the stat line. But just being there and watching the game and seeing it in person, it felt like we were the better team. And yeah, like you said, a Lozy shout out with that cross, because I expected her to give an early cross to give it to Ordonez, and she didn't. She took another touch, and if you watch the replay, Ordonez kind of backed like away, and the defender followed, and Sanchez, with her brilliance, her IQ, she ran into that open space, and Alozi caught her right there, and it was a friggin' tap in, and once again right in front of the supporters. So it was really brilliant for us to get to see that and enjoy that friggin' goal right there, and Bombi was so friggin' happy, her third goal of the season.
No, yeah, and another highlight for sure. I just wanted to say that Sophie Schmidt, she had like a pretty decent game aside from that chance I mentioned. I thought she was um, pretty good in the second half because I didn't think she had like a pretty decent first half. And yeah, I really wanted to get into the stuff that happened in the game because like it's really hard to like not talk about.
All right, so before we get into that rant, let me the lineup, because we've been questioning the lineup. Obviously,
Yeah,
Joel Anderson doing a great job in getting the start at Cam, and obviously she's the girl that needs to be starting at Cam now because Groom's hurt. Barb Oliveri doesn't have the time and the experience with us, and Joel L. Anderson has just been growing more and more as we move on. So obviously she's the one who gets the start right there. Vigiano, bro. How
yeah.
come is she not starting? Sophie Hurst, the rookie, comes in and looks like, according to Lady, but it looks like she's already stolen her position because they're not rotating with each other. So Sophie Hurst is getting the start, and she's getting subbed out later in the game, and Viciano's coming in and playing the rest of the game. This time, unfortunately, Hurst got hurt in the first half and had to come out a little early, so Viciano came in, and I know Schmidt loves that, but because that's her partner, her battling partner. But shout out to Hurst for she's been playing great at the same time, and I can't say nothing bad about Hurst. But it's just a question for us that have been following Dash. What is Vigiano doing, or is just Hurst just that much better? You can answer that before I move on to the rest of the lineup.
No, yeah, and for me, this is like the biggest, I have to say, point of contention when it comes to why Vigiano that she should keep the starting spot, because a lot of people have been around the Ebony Salmon situation, but really like it's really like hard to argue or just like be try to defend Ebony Salmon starting spot when you have Diana Ordonez right there, and with like how the lineup is shaped up, it's really hard to like as far as we've seen in the past few games in the season. Like it's for Diana Ordonez at least. I feel like she has more success. She's found more success compared to Ebony Salmon in the current how the current lineup is situated. But at the same time, like I can definitely see why a lot of people have been like kind of upset that Ebony Salmon has not been like starting a lot. But yeah, like it's just one of those things when it comes to Vigiano or just like having that talent in the bench, but really really needing that in some key parts of the game.
And Salmon. She's not scoring the goals, but it's not like she's been playing horrible either. She's had plenty of opportunities. She could probably have 4 goals this season. She just keeps missing those. What I'm going to call not she's a professional, so I'm gonna call them easy shots. And now, of course, they're not easy, but they're expected goals. So I think they might have fallen under the XG category on the positive side. So Alozi keeps getting the start, and Salmon keeps putting on the bench. And shout out to Alozi because she's not doing nothing to take herself from that position at the same time. So well deserved Alozi and doing what you're supposed to be doing. And but Salmon. She didn't even come off the bench till the 82nd minute, and I was expecting her to come off, at the 30-minute mark, come on at the 30-minute mark for Alozi. As a matter of fact, and Cowinkydink, that's when Alozi scored the goal or the non-goal because fake refs, their stupid VAR, which I'll get into that, but you know, it's so, question mark. Price Sock is still hurt, so she wasn't available. So we went back with the back three, Chappie, uh, Jacobs and Katie Lynn is looking back into her great form, and Didasco's kind of playing in that CDM role, but on the wing. So she's playing defense, but she's playing more of a midfielder. So she's pushing up like an attacker, and she's doing a great job now. I can't talk crap about her anymore. But you know, since I mentioned the Alozi goal that was called back, I did not see an appropriate replay, an appropriate angle, or clear evidence that that ball was out of bound to be called back and be given a throw in for us. That goal should have stood. The angle that they saw, yes, you can see the green, but it was the angle was so off. So if you go straight down the line, that ball could have still been on that friggin' line. So there's there there's no way that ref could determine that it was clear and evident that she made a mistake or the AR made a mistake. The AR's on the line and didn't call it. VAR called it. And the linesman said no, the ball was in. They played on. We scored the goal. VAR screws us. This ref was a piece of crap the entire game. And I'm going to say that this time. This ref was a piece of crap. If you fell to the ground, the whistle blew in your favor. It was freaking ridiculous. She was horrible, and that's what got the crowd into the game, unfortunately. And I'm hoping she gets a little write up from the rest. But even Sam Lady said after the game that there's no point in complaining to pro referees because they write reports right and turn those in after the games about the ref. And there's no point because he says the answer they get back is everything was done correctly. BS, bro. Like,
Yeah.
don't ask me what's wrong with the refs if you're not going to do corrective actions, and that's the political answer, unfortunately. But oh man, that was just the stupidest, dumbest call. It took 5 minutes to do the VAR review.
Yep.
Two of the friggin' Gotham players should have been carded because the keeper and a defender, or I don't know which one it was over at the VAR, and the referee had to tell them to walk away. They took 3 steps back and the referee didn't do nothing about it. So that was annoying too. So the refs are just becoming a hassle, and we should not be talking about the refs. We should be talking about the dash and the way they play and or don't play. We should be talking about focused on the team and not have to focus on these stupid refs. And that's coming from a ref who I've ref 20 years. I got 20 years experience myself. So friggin' refs, bro. This one sucked bad.
Oh yeah, and going back to that call, well, the Alosi's goal that was amazing. That got called back, unfortunately. Like it was just disappointing because on the broadcast that I was able to see, like I did get a good angle that the ball looked like completely across the line, but because the camera was set in a way, I think that camera. I don't know if you recall correctly, but it's the camera that is like sitting underneath the canopy on the south side of the stadium. So it's
We call it
literally like
the webcam.
the webcam. Literally, it's not an actual webcam, but it's the webcam because Webb,
Yeah.
the number one Dynamo supporter like ever, like six in the close to that section, and so but yeah, like anyways, the camera like it's literally that center of the south side. So it's literally like in the middle. I would say you could say like where the goal is situated, and the angle that was shown on the broadcast, it looked like the ball crossed, but because the camera like it's from a pretty uh it was I wouldn't say like a conclusive angle because it was far from the line and you couldn't tell
Yeah.
if it was crossed completely or not. And I thought it did initially, but then I saw that Michelle Alosi tweeted like pictures of the men's World Cup because of like there were like some pretty interesting plays that happened in the World Cup that turned out to be goals, even though the ball looked like it went out of bounds, but it didn't because it didn't like completely cross the line. And I thought it was interesting because maybe we didn't get to see all the angles, so like the players saw something else different, and that's what I got to like understand maybe the frustration with like not just I'm the lady but also the team that that goal was disallowed, which is unfortunate. And that and I felt like the biggest call like that really screwed up the dash was the penalty because I think if I remember correctly I don't know if it was Sophie Schmidt or Chappie
It was
that
no, it was Smith.
Sophie Schmidt. Okay, so
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think Sophie Schmidt. It looked like she challenges the ball to Chrissy Mewis, I think, and it was called a penalty. And the angles how we got from the broadcast, like the we didn't get like a good angle because the ball, or at least like Chrissy Mewis' leg was like blocking uh like the view of the ball, and it also looked like Sophie Schmidt like got the handle of the ball, which shouldn't have been called a foul in my opinion, but it was called a penalty because apparently it was a foul, and that's pretty much how we can see the penalties. I thought it was
And
like
it was
the biggest missed call.
reviewed as well.
Yeah,
I mean, we had the most VAR during this Dash game as well. 7 minutes of stoppage time in the first half, 12 minutes of stoppage time in the second half. So uh, it looked like Smith got the ball, and you could say you could tell because of the direction the ball went on that touch. So to, ridiculous. But the save that Jane Campbell had to make right prior to that, we were all friggin' reeling and celebrating because of the save that she made right there. And then we clear it out. And the next thing you know, the ref's blowing the whistle. And we look at her, she's pointing to the friggin' spot. We're like, what happened? You know, so we had to watch a replay and sit inside the stadium too to see what the heck happened. And then the other non-call on the other end for us, the handling. You know, I never saw like a good clear replay, so I can't really judge if that was right or wrong. But there's another one that that lady said that we should have had, and it should have been ours. And this game should have been ours, but you know how things go at home
no,
for the
yeah,
Dash.
and the main thing about this game, aside from the officiating, is just the fact that there were like a lot of missed opportunities for the Dash to score, and and like you can just say like maybe the Dash lost control of like the flow of the game because of officiating, but at the end of the day, it comes down to us,
Oh
and
yeah.
and and yeah, just the wasted opportunities because we did have the seven. Yeah, we still had the seven shots, even though only two of those were on target. I still thought that the Dash had like a lot of clear opportunities to get to score more goals, and particularly Michelle Alosi. She could have easily had two or three, but unfortunately, it didn't turn out to be like that. And
Hmm.
and yeah, we had to settle with a draw. Like at stoppage time for the second half, it was like 15 minutes, which
It
was
was
insane.
12. It
12
was
minutes.
12, and you had an injury in stoppage time, so that made it more than 12.
Gotcha. No, yeah, like it was crazy, and yeah, because of that and the missed opportunities and all that, we had it turned out to be just a 1-1 draw we had to deal with now, and which kind of sucks because we were hoping to win this game. It looked like we were gonna win this game, but at this point, it is what it is.
It is what it friggin' which is just unfortunate, bro. Unfortunate. And hook 'em horns. As we're recording this episode, I'm watching college baseball World Series, and Texas just come back to tie at 66 against Stanford in the top of the eighth. So, I'm I'm weaving right now. I'm happy, bro. I'm happy. But man, yeah, dude. We had 6,000 fans at the stadium. It sounded louder than it actually than it. It was louder than for the amount of people that was there. The Dash even recognized that the noise was there. They tweeted it and thanked us. Shout out to Jake from Bio City Republic, who he was singing and had the drummers going. Well, of course the drummers go the entire game, but he had the drummers coordinated, and there was a few of us from the Surge and a few of us there that we all knew each other, and you know the Dynamo actually not the Dynamo the front office actually for Dash, they leave the seats unlocked. For Dynamo, they leave the seats locked, so it's standing room only. Period. Well, this time, bro, they left the first 3 or 4 rows unlocked so that they were seats, but the back 3 rows were locked. So that was standing room only, and that's why that you probably watching the game. The front was packed because those people could sit. You couldn't sit 3 rows on the top 3 rows right there where the band was, and it left us some room to elbow room anyways and celebrate. But I'm glad they did that. They give us some standing room because that's what most people don't know is that's still standing room. That's general admission, and everybody comes down to that section looking for their damn seat that the ticket says. And no, bro, you're not sitting here. Go sit somewhere else. It's general admission.
Right, right. I
But
mean, just sitting that one of the open ones down there, but I thought it was very interesting. No, but yeah, and you mentioned the loud a noise from the crowd, and half of that noise I would probably say was just you either booing or cheering for Coach Amoros for his return.
Yeah, and I even said that to somebody. It's like you can't hear my boos because the drummers they're going the entire time. They're going the entire time. So all you can hear is just noise coming from our section. But when the whole stadium's booing at the same time, that's when you heard the boos. So Juan Carlos couldn't hear my boo. He didn't come close enough to me to hear the boo. I mean, we did boo him prior to the game before the drummers made it there. They were warming up like right in front of our goal because, of course, the opposing team warms up in front of the supporters section. No, but I couldn't get his attention, man. But Juan Carlos,
Unfortunate.
boo! yeah. But
No, but yeah,
I'm sure.
that was that game. Very unfortunate how it turned out, and I was really upset that we didn't get the 3 points here. But we do have a pretty packed week, especially on Wednesday, going back to the Challenge Cup against on the road against Racing Louisville, and back home for league play against Ola Rain, which is always an interesting team to play. So I think it's gonna be a packed week for the Dash, but you know it, Road Warriors and getting those points at home, we need all those.
Yeah, and Louisville's not the best team in the world, and we play well against them, so we should be fine for that game on Wednesday. And as you brought up the schedule, of course, Dynamo Dash play at 7:30 on Wednesday night, or 7 o'clock on Wednesday night. Sorry, 7 o'clock on Wednesday night in Louisville. Dynamo play at 9:30 in LA on Wednesday night. So for us diehards, we have back-to-back games on Wednesday night. So I've got me 4.5 hours, 5 hours worth of soccer to watch. I'll be going to bed late, obviously, and then Thursday, when we'll get into here in a minute, Dose play at home on Thursday. So the only home game midweek, guys, go to the Dose game. It's in South Houston on 2E8 at Sabercat Stadium. So get your butts over there and enjoy some dose. And then, like you said, Dash playing Oil Rain on Saturday. Ladies' former team of the past 10 years. They're coming to. I guess we can't call it Hell in the Shell yet for Dash, but they're coming to Shell Energy to play us, and that's the only game on the weekend. So y'all need to get out to the Dash game this weekend and support the cause. We want to get about 8,000, 10,000 fans, which will be 2,000 more than the 6,000 that we're averaging right now. There's no Dynamo, no Dose on the weekend, so no excuses. Get your butts to the friggin' Dash game. Tickets as low as $10. Season ticket holders, you already know that you can get a ticket. Call your rep. Get to the friggin' game, y'all. No BSing.
Yeah, and we did have a couple of comments about the Dash game. One of them from
Woo!
MGT Man saying that pro refs suck. That is all.
Agree.
Yeah, agreed. Um, Hip to swim again. As adding another comment about the Dash. Dash were robbed by the ref, but they needed more than one goal. And yeah, I do agree
Yeah.
on both counts. So yeah. And
Yeah.
Chapito back again mentioning that glad we're closer to the top than the bottom, which I was actually surprised by because the Dash were in a pretty bad spot. I think they're like a couple of spots away from the bottom, and they're now I think tied. Well, close to fifth place, I believe, or six.
Yeah. There's six, and there's 12 teams in the league, and the top seven teams are really, 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 really close in the standings. And then when you get to 8 through 12, those are the teams that are kind of still slacking and trying to figure out their teams. So, yeah, it's the parity in the NWSL is looking really great right now, and everybody's beating everybody's butts right now, back and forth. So, there's no safe place in the NWSL.
No, yeah, and that was the Dash. I'm gonna be looking forward to the games this week, especially uh, the Challenge Cup, and obviously when they get back on to face Ola Rain. And yeah, that was the Dash, and now we're gonna move on to Dynamo 2. They steamrolled Minnesota United 2 4-1, and I was watching this game simultaneously along with the Dash game, and they just like it was just crazy how like they scored 3 goals in the first 17 minutes. It was just insane, and all the goals came in from like different players, and and Jair Gonzalez is scored in the 4th minute. Dio Gonzalez, our main man, like scores in the 13th minute, and then Castilla returning from the 20 World Cup scores the free. I don't know if you watched the goal, but it was like a free kick that he took,
Yeah.
but it didn't reach the goal, but it bounced off the grass, and then the keeper couldn't reach it, and it went in like in the far post, and that was an unlucky goal because I felt like he could have easily stopped it.
Well, it's just one of those goals that that's why you put it right there on that spot because the keeper has to make a decision, and he thought somebody was going to head the ball, so he stood his ground to be ready to block the header because if he, and that's the right choice the keeper has to make. He's got to guard his line. Nobody got the ball. It bounced and went straight into the corner, and he tried to make a save, but it was too late by then. So then there's nothing the keeper could do right there. He made the decision he was supposed to make, and just a great ball from Castilla. Great ball.
No,
But
yeah, and and the biggest highlight for me this game was the goal from Sebastian Rodriguez in the 89th minute. He is 15 years old. He
yep.
is 15. Like
We've said
that's
that a couple times
crazy.
on the show. The 15-year-old coming in and friggin' balling out, bro, and he's not that little, but he's a kid still, man. 15, like you said, 15, and he's getting regular minutes for dose.
No,
Regular
yeah, he
minutes.
he also did in the 70th minute and for a broken reins, and that's just interesting. Like he subs out a broken reins and he just like steps up and puts the game away because at that point, um, Dynamo 2 were playing with 10 players, and Sebastian comes in and just seals it because Minnesota will score their first goal in the second half, and it kind of looked like they were trying to get a couple more goals in to get close in the scoreline, but it didn't come up to that, thankfully. And and I guess not a shout out to Asea Lefleur for getting the red card. It was the double yellow, so bad job on that. And
And it
and
was in the 88th minute, and it was 3-1 already at that point with a couple minutes left. So it's not like it killed us. And did we have we played Minnesota already? So he because usually when
I
you get
don't
a
think
red card,
so.
you miss that game. No, you're right. We haven't played him yet, so he'll miss the next Minnesota game at home, July 23rd, because of next pro rules.
Yeah, no, with just Sebastian, like at 15 years old, it's just crazy how the young kids are playing now and just contributing to Dynamo too, especially Brooklyn Reigns, who has been getting the trust by the first team, has been featuring more games now, and hopefully down the road, like it's gonna be the same thing with Sebastian Rodriguez. We're gonna see him more often, and at some point in the future, hopefully, like get more involved with the first team, and we'll see how that goes. But obviously, Dio Gonzalez, not much else to say. Sixth goal of the year already. So this man is getting all the eyes in the first team. I can feel it for sure.
Well, and he's midfield too. So there's a question with depth right there, and people keep saying Castilla, Castilla, Castilla. Well, I don't think we're going to see Castilla on the first team this year because he just came back. And matter of fact, he was on the roster last game, but he just didn't get no playing time. So this was his first playing time back with Dose. But he's got all that international duty, so he still get to get acclimated. So I see him staying with Dos for the rest of the season. If we need somebody to call up, maybe it is Diego Gonzalez because he's the one who's just killing it out there, bro. And, just killing it. And both the Gonzalez's, bro, just taking off. And Yair's a super sub who got to start this time, and his goal wasn't the prettiest, but his goal because Yair got the first one, right?
So it
Yeah,
was,
yeah,
yeah, it
yeah.
was
You
Jair,
got the
yeah.
first one 3 minutes into the game or 4 minutes into the game, and it wasn't the strongest shot, but it was good enough to make it past the keeper. And I guess we do need to point out the score line doesn't really tell the whole story because Diego Gonzalez's goal was created by Ezekiel Soto. They back passed to the keeper, and he was close enough and pressured enough where he deflected the keeper ball, and it went straight to friggin' Diego, and Diego puts it back in. And then of course, the Castillo goal that was just that mistake right there. And then the fourth goal looked like it should have been handling in the box. Ref didn't call it. Who cares? Because it went straight to it went straight to, I don't even remember who played the assist now, to tell you the truth, but got got the ball down, turned, and played Rodriguez right in the middle, who was making that run right in the middle of the box, and he just put it right in the corner, and like you said, sealed the friggin' deal. It was a great shot. Great shot. But so closer game than what the score said, and Minnesota actually had better stats when you look at the better stats. But in the end, we are Dose and we are better.
2 times better, and
2 times
two
better.
times better, and yeah, and just to clarify, Jacob Evans what had got the assist to Sebastian Rodriguez. So there's
Okay,
that,
very good. Thank you.
and I know, yeah, Dynamo 2 coming out of a big road win 4-1 over Minnesota United 2. They're unbeaten in the last five, which is pretty good because if you remember correctly, like they were pretty bad at the start of the season, and now they're on fourth place in the Western Conference standings. So they're looking pretty. They're looking much better now. As always, Kenny Bundy knows what he's doing, and he's proving us
Yeah.
wrong already, and no doubt. And yeah, their next game, like you mentioned, we do have the Timbers 2 coming to town. So go to SaberCat Stadium, buy your tickets, and I think they're like $5. So come on, or like free with your season ticket holder. Do it.
They're 10. They're 10 or free with the
10.
season
Okay.
ticket holders. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so
Okay.
the
Okay.
same price as Dash. It's okay, but like if you're a season ticket holder, call your rep. You've got tickets to the Dose games because of your perks. So no BS and get to that game too.
No, yeah. And a couple more comments from Twitter. Hip to swim again. He They mentioned that D2 was a good win. D2 starting to play better with each match. Kind of like what I said already about Kenny Bundy starting to click on things, especially with a pretty poor start of the season. And Chapito back again. Development for D2 is coming along great. I will love to see more D2 guys getting chances with the first team, even if it's just 10 to 15 minutes. And I feel like when it comes to the first team, it's pretty tough to at least get the minutes and the way the season's turning out. Only because we're still in MLS play and we need to fight for all the points at this point, and it's just gonna be pretty tough for them to like trust on D2 players at this point. But it will be pretty good, like if they just like have some players like benched, and not just Brooklyn Reigns, but rather like Diego Gonzalez, like the players that earn it along the way. And yeah, it's just that at this point, like the, like I can say it for like MLS. Like I don't know at this point if we can see the League Cup, but I don't know what you think.
I mean, no. League's Cup is everybody's off. We have no MLS games to mess with, so I'll play our roster, play whoever's here and available, and we don't need to play the kids in that game. Let's take League's Cup serious because you know you only get 2 games, and if you're eliminated, you're off for the next 3 weeks. So it's going to be a lot of time off. I'd prefer that we take it serious. We try to get out of our little bracket and maybe get another game out of it, but and see what happens. Just to keep the form going. There could be something in the works. Maybe like we might have to do a charities cup that might be in the works right now, and be like, hey, if we don't make it out of the group, we're going to do a charities cup just so that the team can play because that's a long time off for Leagues Cup with no games in between. So
Yeah,
that's something to look at because I mean even because Dose is playing, so we can use some of our players to go play for Dose to keep them fit, but we can't send Hector Herrera to Dose or some other guys to Dose. It would be Brooklyn Reigns, and who knows how they'll figure that out. But so that's my feeling with Leagues Cup. Let's play our top 11. Ooh, ouch. Yes.
oh yeah. And that was D2. Before we close this episode, let's get those roundups, man.
Yeah, bro. So I'll start with the next pro. So North Texas lost, which helps us because they're still 3 points behind us in the standings. Austin went and got a win. So as far as standings go, Colorado, who's just running away with it, they're averaging 2.67 points per game. So they're not losing right now. They got 32 points. Austin has 25, Vancouver 23, and Houston 22. We are in fourth place, so this 5 game
Big
run
twos.
is
Two
yes,
times
it's got
better.
us
Two
has
times
gotten
better.
us
Yeah.
up there 2 times better, bro. 2 times better. It's gotten us up there, man. So looking good right there. Looking good with the Western Conference standings and the way that the Houston's been playing, and we just need to keep it up. The upcoming schedule: Portland, San Jose, Tacoma, and at Austin are the next four for
We'll be
those.
there.
So, yes, definitely going to be there, and that one's July 7th. So we don't have to fight. Oh no, we do kind of have to fight because Dash play the same night at home,
Mm.
and Dynamo are at home as well that weekend. That's a friggin' three for. So
Dang.
yeah, I guess you know what we need to be at the Dose game that time, and support them because they'll be here in Austin. So we need to bring the noise. So sorry, Dash. I think we've made our decision. We're going to have to support Dose that time, unfortunately, and then we'll make it to the game on Saturday against SKC, and that one comes. But shout out to the boys. Dash, bro. So I was a little bit wrong. We are in seventh place, one
Seventh. Yeah.
point. Yeah, 1 point out of six, but we are that team that threshold where the top seven are fighting for positions. So I said top seven. We've got 16 points, and then Orlando comes in with 13th and 8th, and then it just goes downhill from that. KC, look at Louisville's got 12, who is our next opponent, sitting in ninth place. They've got only 2 wins, but they're tying all their games again, so 6 ties. So uh, seventh, Houston with 16th place. We're 4-3-4, 4 wins, 4 ties, 3 losses. North Carolina 17, Gotham with 18. If Gotham could have won that game, they would have been tied for first. Incredibly, Lorraine with 19, Portland with 19, Washington and San Diego hold up top of the league with 20 points apiece. So they're fighting, and like I said, there's just a parity, bro. It's just parity, and everybody's
Yep.
beating everybody up in that friggin' league right there. And you can't dictate who the title winner is going to be right now because San Diego's in first, Portland. Uh, they're I wouldn't say they're struggling, but they're in third. Although Rain looking pretty good. I mean, Washington shooting up the ranks, friggin' just incredible. But and then MLS, man, Dynamo shot up. Of course, Dallas lost to St. Louis on a replay game. I think that one was what 2-0. Yeah, no, Dallas beat St. Louis on a replay game during the middle of the week, 2-0, and then over the weekend they went to Portland and lost 1-0, and then Austin got their butts kicked by Kansas City, and they're really the Fires are. You live south, I live north. I think the city's burning down in between us. they're talking about Wolf out. They're questioning Driussi now. Driussi shouldn't be their captain, or what the heck's going on with this and what the heck's going on with that. So I'm kind of loving it right now. Of course, it helps when the Dynamo are playing are having good times on their own end. But when you go and look at the table, I'll start with the East because friggin' Cincinnati is still one loss. They're 40 points. They're 8 points above second place Nashville, which is just friggin' they're taking off, bro. So Cincinnati, unbeatable. Uh, I don't give two craps about Messi in the Open Cup run. I'm glad he's here. I don't see Miami beating Cincinnati with Messi. Who cares? Who cares? So Cincinnati's tough. It'll be a surprise if Miami does do that. But Cincinnati gets to host Miami in that half, and then RSL comes here. So the two winners will play each other. And I think it's Cincinnati. It's RSL, Cincinnati, and then Miami as far as who gets to host, right? If they
Yes.
make it to the final. Yeah. So a lot of people want to go to Miami because obviously it's Messi.
Oh wait, actually, sorry. It's RSL Miami Cincinnati. So
Okay, so
the only way for Cincinnati to host the final is if we go through and if they beat
yeah,
Miami.
and I think that'll might be our preference. I mean, we played in Miami last year and we beat them, but they didn't have Messi. Cincinnati, first game of the season, we played okay. We lost 2-1. That was one of those games that we kind of thought we could have done a lot better, but we didn't know what our road form was going to look like after that getting into the season. So we'll see what's going on there. But like I said, Cincinnati running away with the East. Chicago and Inter Miami holding down. And Miami wasn't happy at all that that Messi's coming to Miami because they just went and got their butts kicked 3-1. So they weren't motivated at all. At friggin' all. And the funny thing about Miami is they're 5 wins, they're 12 losses, 0 draws. They win or they lose. Well, actually, they lose.
They're last in the East. Yeah.
Yeah, they're last in the East with how many points? Yeah, 15 points, 2 points below Chicago. Only a -8 goal differential. So I mean, it's not like they're bad. They're just playing bad. And that team has 4 DPs. They have 3 DPs and a young DP on their team, and they can't figure it out. And now they just put the young DP Campana out on the market and said they're willing to sell him. So anybody wants a U22 young DP, there's your forward out there if you need one. I don't know if we need to go after it, but market's open out there for Campana, and I'm sure they'll make some more moves here pretty soon. But going into the West, St. Louis is still up top with 29 points, Seattle with 28 points, and LAFC, because they couldn't beat Houston in Hell in a Shell, they're 26 points, 3 points behind. FC Dallas is now tied with them for third, so is San Jose. Which San Jose, man, improving. But where are we at? We're above the line, bro. We're above the line in 7th place with 21 points, 1 point above Portland. Scoring, dang. Portland, Sporting KC, Minnesota, and Real Salt Lake all have 20. Austin has 19s, and then that's where the separation is because Galaxy and Colorado are just sucking right now. But so there's parity even in the West in the MLS right now, and so we're above the line. One more game to the halfway point. So after Wednesday, we're at the halfway point. 17 games into the season, and someone was doing comparisons. So I think we had 16 points at this point last year. Now we have 17 points. Is that what I just said?
21.
21 points. So I think we're doing a little bit better than we were last year, but it's still kind of close because I think this is where we went downhill with that other guy that was coaching us.
Look, if you ask me if we're in a better spot compared to last year, I'll say yes. And I prefer to be in the way that things are right now because we're looking at progress. And we all need to calm down. Like I know we lost some pretty bad games, but we're in a pretty good spot, and we all need to chill.
Yeah, absolutely. I was like, there's just no comparison to the two to begin with. Like, different feelings, completely, just different feelings completely. But that's the Hustle Town roundup. Shout out to everybody that I saw this weekend while I was in Houston. And a little side note, it was Sunday, so I didn't succeed very well, but I did go looking around for some apartments in Edu. Yes, I did say East Downtown. So I did. There is some good ones, and then there's as I pan out a little bit further east, they start to get pretty bad, but. I'm not trying to be too picky, but I was looking around in town, so trying to get my butt there as soon as possible and see if I can, call myself a Houstonian again. Was born and raised there, so I'm Houstonian forever. But trying to come home, guys, trying to come home. Help me out. I need an apartment or a room. But and then shout out to Herman, who may listen to this show early. I don't know if he listens to our show. It's kind of funny, huh? But I went to his house to watch the Champions League final just because I knew the Phoenix was just going to be ridiculous with how many people was going to be there. And the Phoenix is just so small. So Herman was, luckily he said, hey, just come over to the crib and just watch the game here. So I met his family while I was there. We watched the game and enjoyed the game. And good times. I made it back safely after the Dash game last night, and I'm debating if I can make it Saturday to the Dash game, with that one being the only game this weekend. But we'll see. I'll wait till closer to the weekend to make that decision. But otherwise, guys, y'all know what to do, man. Let us know how y'all feel about us. Sometimes, we're good with constructive criticism. If you got ideas, you want to hear something from the show or something you want us to do, of course, don't forget about Instant Ramen. We're still doing some interviews here and there. Go back and listen to the LAFC one we just did with the Voices of Black and Gold. We do have LAFC again, so it's still a good episode to listen to. And then, of course, Dynamico was back last week with the Spanish version, so make sure y'all be checking that out. They're holding it down on the Dynamo in Spanish, and of course, we got you for Dashing, we got you for Dose, man. But I've got my H's up because I'm loud and proud, man, and forever orange.
Yes, sir. Hey guys, stay noodle.
Ooh.